There are a lot of videos on the internet showing how to tune a ukulele, and a lot of them don't address a couple of points. So let's talk about it. First of all, it's probably best to use a tuner like this one. Now, this is a reverb.com tuner. They're on sale generally for $4, and sometimes they even go on sale for more than that. And here's how this thing works. To turn it on, you hold the button, and when you press it, there's a letter. I don't know if you can see, you can focus. That says C. That means chromatic tuner. So it'll pick up every chromatic step in terms of vibration that goes up to it. If I press it again, I get a G. That's for guitar. If I press it again, I get a B. That's for bass. If I press it again, V for violin. And then U is ukulele. So you can tune a ukulele either with the U or the C. It doesn't matter. But if you're in this mode of U, it's only going to be listening for the 4 standard pitches of a re-entrant tuned ukulele. That means the G above middle C, the middle C, and then an E, and then an A above that first G. So the G string, C string, E string, and A string. And if you were to hold that and play it, it looks in this direction, G, C, E, A. So most tuning is going to be talking about G, C, E, A. Now these strings are brand new and they're going to be really badly out of tune. So this is a perfect ukulele to play with. Now, if I put this tuner on, okay, and I'm going to play the green string, which is G, I want that to say G. Now, that little bar, can you see it light up? That little bar there is saying it's too low. So I need to turn this knob one of 2 ways to make that string go higher. Now, the way that it's wrapped around, I need to turn it this way to make that string go higher. If I go the other way, it gets loose. Now, generally, there's nothing wrong with loosening a string other than sometimes they'll get so loose that you have to re-stretch them to keep them in tune. If you tune too high, you have the potential of snapping a string. Now, you'd have to go pretty high. You know, I'm taking this quite a bit higher than its normal pitch. And since these strings are new, they're going to keep stretching anyway, so this isn't going to cause any permanent damage to that string. But you can go higher, but if you go too high, you do run the risk of snapping a string, and I do have students that do that. So there, that string is in tune. And if I continue to play it, you'll actually see it go out of tune in time. Okay, next string, the red string, you follow it up. Goes up to this one up here. This goes to C. Then, the yellow string goes up on the other side. And then finally, that blue string is the first string. And they always say you want to tune up and stretch the strings out rather than going down. Realistically, you need to do what you need to do to make those go right in. Now, see how that G is already stretched out? It was in tune. And actually, when you tune your ukulele, you should do that a couple of times. Look how much these C and E strings stretch. I'm always surprised at how much the thicker strings stretch. Now, you can tune to a tuning fork. You can tune the instrument to itself if you're not worried about playing with other people. But if you're worried about playing with like a recording with other people, you've got to make sure that your ukulele is actually in tune. Now, what if your ukulele is so out of tune and you can't find G, C, E, and A? Well, that's where an app like the ukulele app is helpful. And there are these tools in here, and there's a tuner. And what you can do is you can press this. I'll make sure my volume's up. You can press this and hear what the strings are supposed to sound like in that G, C, E, A tuning for a soprano, concert, tenor ukulele. Here's G. So if you, and by the way, that part of the app is free, but if you have a ukulele that you don't know what the notes are supposed to sound like, so what's that green string supposed to sound like? You can approximate it better. Red string, yellow string. That one was actually pretty close. That was actually a little high. Now, that's not going to be in tune yet, and most of us don't have a good enough ear to be able to recognize that. So this is where I take the tuner, and then I can tune each one of those individually. Now again, you have to figure out which way to turn the knobs, and if you turn it too high or too low, you just start over again, bring it a little bit lower to the pitch and work up to the pitch, and you try to find each string, there's the C string, right in the middle of that little display. And most tuners work the same way. There are a couple tuners that actually have a microphone in them too, but the cool part about a headstock tuner is it's going to be way more accurate than most of our ears, and it's going to help us more quickly. But if your ukulele is nowhere close, like it's brand new and it's never been tuned before, sometimes it's good to have the reference pitches to try to tune to first, and then you can finally fine tune with a tuner. And plan on tuning a lot. If your strings are new, you might have to tune, literally 20 times in the first 10 minutes. And many, many, many times. It often takes strings a number of days to stretch, and in particular these strings, the thicker ones, the G and the E strings, string 2 and 3, really stretch a lot, and they keep stretching, and they just keep stretching. So, even professional ukulele players tune all the time. So that's how you tune a ukulele. I would say, again, if you don't know what you're doing, get the reference pitches first and try to match, and then use the tuner. And again, make sure that you're either on its ukulele mode or its chromatic mode. Some tuners don't even have any of those other modes, and they're just chromatic. But you're looking for, again, on most ukuleles, reentrant, G above middle C, C, E, and A. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you can find your way to good tuning. And if you need to, here are those pitches one more time for you to tune with.